Cody Rhodes teases an NXT appearance. Tammy Sytch is sued over a fatal car crash. And a major indie star suffers a concussion over the weekend. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Cody on NXT? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So, Roderick Strong put out a tweet of hitting one of his lovely backbreakers. You know, he is discount backbreaker warehouse, that man is.
Messiah. Some would say the messiah of the backbreaker, Tom.
He is the messiah of Le Backbreaker. And he accompanied this by tagging Cody and having a diamond emoji and a clock emoji. Diamond time. As opposed to Diamond Mine.
Oh my God. Jacket Time and Diamond Mine. Oh, that's what's next, right?
Jacket Time and Diamond Mine. It's been quite pleasing about that sentence.
That,
Jacket Time and Diamond Mine. Jacket Time and Diamond Mine. Jacket Time and Diamond. Kushida's left the company. Cody responded to this with a quote retweet. I'm game. Only wrestler on the fabled list. I didn't get around to fighting. But if that backbreaker happens, early retirement for me. News. Roddy followed this up by saying, early retirement it shall be. Malcolm, make it happen.
Oh.
So, I mean, like we've seen quite a few Raw stars and recently a SmackDown star turning up on NXT.
Yeah.
Cody popping down there for a little bit. I think it's too soon.
Yes.
Potentially.
I think potentially it could be too soon as well. It kind of then, you know, because we've just had Natalya go down to NXT as well for the women's division stuff. Does that take away from Natalya sort of rocking up on NXT then? I don't know, but that's got to be a huge want for WWE to do, right? Send their, at the moment, you know, obviously you got Roman Reigns and whatnot, but Cody, one of the biggest stars, and obviously a huge talking point in just the wrestling landscape at the moment. Of course, they'd want to send him to NXT, right? To get people's eyes on the product.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Just sending people over to put some eyes on NXT. So, I mean, potentially, if they do that, they'll have a banger match as well.
It shouldn't even be on NXT. It should be like a main event of a pay-per-view. Because that, as Cody was, you know, as Cody has said before, he's been on the list, and he was the only person that he never got to wrestle, I think, on the list.
So I mean, in terms of like when he says the list. I'm being a bit thick here. Does he mean like all the Undisputed Era people?
No, so he had a list, right? He had a list prior to WWE of all these people that he wanted to face in the ring, and I think Roddy Strong was the only one he didn't get to wrestle. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Roddy was the only one. I think even in an interview thing, he said he actually saw Roddy at an event once and was like, oh, you're like the only one person I've got left to wrestle. I really want to wrestle you. And Roddy was kind of just like, yeah, all right. And then kind of just like left it like that. But that would be so good. I think, as you were saying, I think both of them would absolutely knock it out of the park.
I reckon so. I think Roddy is an interesting one. To talk on Roddy for a sec, because we've seen like this churn of people from sort of Triple H's NXT vision, moving to Raw, SmackDown, or other places. Like, what do we see in terms of the future for Roddy?
And this is
I feel like he's kind of like the sort of the one of the last people standing from that time.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of sort of, you know, he does the Homer, just shrink it into the hedge kind of thing. Like, if they don't notice I'm here, they won't let me go. I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot more that Roddy could be doing than being in NXT at the moment. Not that he doesn't have fantastic matches. Obviously, we've seen him fight with Ilya Dragunov recently as well, and like some really, really good matches.
Yes.
And like I think even Roddy probably knows that there's a lot more. Either somewhere else or on the main roster, somewhere for him, I think, at the moment. But, you know, I think it's good that he's in Diamond Mine. I think it's good to have someone like Roddy Strong hopefully helping people like the Creed brothers. Not that they need help. They're so bloody good. They're ridiculously good.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have somebody like him.
But yeah, exactly, you know, kind of just watching over them and everything. Like, yeah. But I think there's a lot more exciting stuff in Roddy's future, and hopefully this match is going to be one of them.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So Cody versus Roddy, possibly on NXT sooner rather than later. PW Insider giving us this one today. A civil lawsuit has been filed against Tammy Sytch and her boyfriend James F. Penty followed by the estate of Julian L. Lasseter. Julian, of course, was killed on March the 25th in Ormond Beach, Florida. So this was something we reported on a few weeks back. The lawsuit is seeking in excess of $30,000. PW Insider say the lawsuit alleges negligence by Sytch. In addition, Sytch's boyfriend is vicariously liable for Sytch's actions by allowing her to use his vehicle. The lawsuit further states that the Lasseter family has sustained medical and funeral expenses as a result of Sytch's actions. Lasseter's adult daughter, quote, has suffered and will suffer into the future the loss of her father's companionship, instruction, guidance, and mental pain and suffering as a result of her father's death. No comment so far from Sytch or her boyfriend in response to the lawsuit. This is a pretty grim story. We will keep you posted on it at cultaholic.com. Not much more to say on that, really. Not much more to say on that, really. We want to send some best wishes today to Jonathan Gresham, finally. So Jonathan Gresham was set to compete this weekend for Progress. I was really pumped for, not so much for Jonathan Gresham, because he's great, but for Gene Money.
Yeah.
Because Gene Money was set to face Jonathan Gresham in a match which would determine whether Gene Money enters the Super Strong Style 16 for Progress. And it was revealed just in the morning of the show that Jonathan Gresham pulled out of the Progress event. He suffered what was believed to be a concussion on Friday night in his match for AEW against Dalton Castle. That was the match that we saw on Saturday. Now, Jonathan Gresham is the reigning Progress champion. He's also the reigning Ring of Honor champion. So potentially a concussion at this time. It comes at a rough time for him.
And I was gonna say that as well. Like, you know, hopefully, I hope this doesn't lead to anything more serious. I hope he kind of just, like, you know, takes the time off to help regenerate and recuperate from this. Obviously, a concussion is nothing to scoff at. It's a serious thing, but hopefully this doesn't jeopardize, because he's been doing so much work, and we've seen how much work he's been doing, and we've seen how much good stuff he's been doing. Like, you know, I think he's really been a driving force for independent wrestling as of late. Like, him going all these different places and putting on all these barn burners. And as you were saying, that's such a shame for Gene Money. That's like such a huge match for him to have. And I've got my fingers crossed that they can have it down the line again.
I'd like to see them go for it.
Yeah.
I think there'd be some fun to be had with that one. Obviously, you send our best wishes to Jonathan Gresham.
Yep.
Be well, stay well, and thanks for doing what you do, sir, as ROH and Progress champion, and no doubt a million other indie championships to come. Check out the channel today if you fancy 4.5 hours of us talking about WrestleMania. We did a tier list of every WrestleMania, and we've done WrestleMania matches, and we've done WrestleMania main events, but we haven't done WrestleManias per se.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we did that one, and that's on the YouTube channel. It's literally such a long one that I think Jack, Sam, and I all tag out to each other throughout it.
I personally heard it's if you blink, then sometimes there's another person there. Just like,
what? Keeps changing.
Yeah.
It's like pressing the red button on Sky. Get a different correspondent each time. Listen out for my banging version of Shinedown's I Dare You as well. It's a headphone warning one, that one.
No, don't lie. Don't lie.
It's okay. I'm soft.
It's an ASMR Wonderland is what it is.
Wasn't that a Sega game? Wasn't that a Sonic Team game? You were on the podcast on Friday.
Yep.
So that's on there now. How did you manage to do the second longest podcast in history?
I have no idea, because it felt like it went by so quick. Usually, right, Tom, you do the podcast, sometimes you sat there, I need a wee, and then you need a wee, and it feels like it's going on forever, and you need to, like, I just want a wee, but I don't want to break the flow of things. Mind the pun there. But yeah, it was really, really fun. It's always a pleasure to be on with Matthew and Ross. But it's always a pleasure. No, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it.
YouTube.com/Cultaholic if you've not seen that one already. And more news throughout the day at Cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.